Good morning. It's almost weekend. I'm excited. When weekend happens, the leaves happens, the traffic happens, the apples happen, the waterfalls happen. Get out and enjoy this weather because do you know what happens very shortly? Our days do get shorter, and when our days get shorter, we just have to deal with it. You know, it gets daylight a little earlier in the morning or a little later in the morning. It's crazy. We have, you know, one thing we get something good, one thing we get something bad. We just have to adjust and we have to deal with it. So we will be getting a little bit less daylight in the afternoon. So if you've been doing something fun in the afternoon, you better be changing it and doing it another time. It's crazy because, and then all of a sudden it's November, and then the next thing you know it's February and we're approaching spring. This time will pass so fast. So start reading, start quilting, start sorting through all the stuff that you kept saying, oh, I'm going to do something with that. Oh, I'm going to give that away. Oh, maybe I need to do something with that. We are working on a coat drive for homeless veterans, and please, please, please help us with that. If you have jackets, if you have heavy coats, even if you have thick, thick socks, or if you're out shopping, buy some thick, thick socks, and let's throw them in the blend too, because whiny me was driving to work yesterday, and my hands got cold. And I thought, oh, shut up. Why are you whining when there are people who served our country sleeping on the streets? So please don't forget, this weekend, you can do the apples, you can do the traffic, you can do the leaf looking. But then if you're home for a few hours, please go through your closets and gather what you can that will help somebody else. There's somebody out there who lost their home today with a fire, and I was reading the things about that, and they lost everything. They both worked from home, and they had 2 children. They lost everything. Imagine what that would be like. So please be a helper, not a hinderer. I guess that's a word. Or maybe, did I make that word up? I don't know. We'll see. Talk about words. Oh my gosh, I've been thinking of so many crazy country words that my granny used to say. Now, you can't spell I'm ironing because Granny ironed her clothes. I iron my clothes. And I thought about that. Maybe there's a dictionary out there somewhere that says this is the way our grannies used to talk. And as we get older, sometimes we sound like our grannies. Sometimes we start looking like our grannies. So maybe they had something good going on. They always had a good breakfast coming out of the stove. Most of the time they had a biscuit or 2 left, and they might grab that for lunch, and then they'd have a supper, and their supper might be something as simple as cornbread and milk. We lived a simpler life, and it might have been a happier life. So I'm going to take you to a very simple man that we all know and love. His name is Dwight Sanford. Y'all know him as Mr. Ellijay. He is one of those mountain men who still loves the old-timey ways. And I'll swear he knows them on the air, and I'll be darned, he's calling again. Hello. Yes, I'm talking about you. Well, of course I'm talking about you, because you're an old man and people love you. Yes. No, why did you interrupt this show? Yes, I wanted to tell them about the new music. Yeah, I know. They sell them at Napa here in, yes. They sell them at Napa. They're $10. You donate all the money you make to the Shriners Club. I know all about it. Listen, get back to that 66 Chevelle where you need to be. Will you please finish that car? You've worked on it forever. I know, you're a busy man. I hear that all the time. Or as Granny said, well, I heard of that. Yeah. She heard of a lot of things. She heard of a lot of things I wish she hadn't heard of, like when I skipped school one day. I know you never did anything bad like that. Right. Yeah, okay, I hear you. Why don't you get back to producing music, and I'll get back to doing what I do. I've got to visit with the folks here at the studio. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Lord have mercy. Why would he call me when he knows I'm on the air? Sometimes he gets his mind on something and he's got to say something. Let me tell you what you need to get to mind on. Go to one of the last car shows of the year and see these beautiful, beautiful cars, but you will not see one as pretty as that black 66 Chevelle. I've never seen a car that looked as good, as straight, as beautiful. And it's right here in Ellijay, Georgia. It's a matching numbers car. It's one of those things. I know you guys like those cars. Yeah. Everybody needs to volunteer a day at 57 Heaven because you will love every minute of it. We're going to go now to some of the back road music. We were fording a creek. We were doing all kinds of things that we loved. So sit back and enjoy. And then in just a little bit, you're going to get to meet a man that I really, really like. He is just retired from being in public service for over 45 years as a police officer. He came up through the ranks, and he came up through the ranks the hard way. He started at the bottom, and he got right up there where he needed to be. And then retirement came. What's next for him? We'll see in just a minute.
I feel good, I got my best jeans on, I feel fine. I'll call my baby on the phone. We're going down to Jamie's and watch them shoot a game of 9. Jackie Dunn will be there in his ragtop 59. My grill is clean, I've got an 8-track in the dash of my machine, and I know every single line. Yeah, Susie's got her dress on, hanging high above her knees. And when she smiles for the Nikon, you know it's such a sight to see. It's Friday night in the southern city lights. Wheels will turn and the rubber's gonna burn. The glass packs are racking, the power play is screaming loud. We'll cruise the red dot parking lot and see who all is in the crowd. 'Cause I feel good, I got my best jeans on, it's all fine. I'll call my baby on the phone. We're going down to Jamie's and watch him shoot a game of 9. Jackie Dunn will be there, and you better not step out of line. Many years ago, in days of childhood, I used to play till the evening sun would come. Then wandering down an old familiar pathway, I could hear my mother call at set of sun. Come home, come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home. Some of my fondest memories of my childhood were woven around supper time. And Mom, I remember how you used to call from the steps of our old home place. You'd always say, "Come home, son, it's supper time." What I'd give to hear that just one more time. But you know, time has woven a realization of truth that's even more thrilling. And that's when we hear that call from the portals of glory to come home for supper time. When all of God's children gather around the table with the Lord Himself, and we celebrate the greatest supper time of all. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows lengthen fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. As I travel through this pilgrim land, there is a friend who walks with me, leads me safely through the sinking sand. It is the Christ of Calvary. This will be my prayer, dear Lord, each day, that I may do the best I can. For I need the light to guide me day and night. Blessed Jesus, hold my hand. Jesus, hold my hand. Lord, I need thee every hour. Through this pilgrim land, protect me by thy power. Hear my feeble plea, dear Lord, look down on me. When I kneel in prayer, I hope to meet you there. Blessed Jesus, hold my hand. Let me travel in your light divine, that I may see the blessed way. Keep me that I may be wholly thine, and sing redemption songs someday. I will be a soldier brave and true, never firmly take my stand. As I onward go and daily need the foe, blessed Jesus, hold my hand. Jesus, hold my hand. Lord, I need thee every hour. Through this pilgrim land, protect me by thy power. Hear my feeble plea, dear Lord, look down on me. When I kneel in prayer, I hope to meet you there. Blessed Jesus, hold my hand. When I wander through the valley down toward the setting of the sun, lead me safely to a land of rest, if I the crown of life I've won. I have put my faith in thee, dear Lord, that I may reach that golden strand. no other friend on whom I can depend. Blessed Jesus, hold my hand. Jesus, hold my hand. Lord, I need thee through this last pilgrim land. Protect me by thy power. Hear my people plead. Dear Lord, look down on me. When I kneel in prayer, I hope to meet you there. Blessed Jesus, hold my hand. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
If you or your business are looking for local advertising opportunities, we have sponsorships available for new programming coming soon on ETC3. Contact us at 706-697-5591.
See us anytime you can.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Hey y'all, welcome to Ball Ground, Georgia. Guess what? Today we're going to go back, way back to where a young police officer who looked up to his father said, I think I want to try this for a living. I'd like to introduce you to Dennis Nelson. And Dennis, can you tell me some of the things that went before your name, from officer to lieutenant to what were the ranks that you achieved as a police officer?
Oh, hi, Sherry. Thanks for connecting the interview. I started as a police officer in 1980, and that was with a small town, which the small town back then was the city of Ackworth. And I worked there until I decided I needed a little more excitement, and I went to the city of Roswell, and I liked it there. It was a good department, worked my way up to sergeant. I did everything there that you could do. I was a patrol officer and an investigator, auto theft investigator, motorcycle officer, traffic enforcement, and fatal crash investigator. And then I moved into administration and took over, or actually started the national accreditation process at Roswell. But during that time, I had other things going on. I met my lovely wife, Dawn, and we were married in Roswell, Roswell United Methodist Church in the late 1980s. And she's been with me for most of my career. After Roswell, I went to Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, And that was based on my accreditation background. The chief deputy there was a friend, and he said, I want you to come over here to Gwinnett County and get us state certified. Same thing that City of Ball Ground's getting ready to get. So I did that, and also handled training and support services. And then another sheriff, incoming sheriff, called me and said that he wanted me to come work for him, and that was Forsyth County Sheriff Ted Paxton. So I came over there. He said he wanted to get accredited, and we were able to get him accredited. I was there 10 years. Did a short stint at Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Worst job I ever had out of law enforcement. And from that point, I actually was asked by the city manager of Milton, City of Milton, to come over and help them get their community outreach program off the ground and accreditation. And so I did that. And then I decided I wanted to be a police chief. I had the experience. I had finished my college early on, and so I was qualified for it. And so I went to the city of Metter down near Savannah, where everything's better in Metter. And nice small town, police department, force for about 15 officers, and worked down there for several years before coming back up here to Clayton County, where I was hired as a warden over the Clayton County Prison. And I'm retiring from there in 3 days.
That's why I wanted to talk to you. You're retiring, but rumor is you're really not retiring. You're taking another job.
I am. My same friend who was the city manager in Milton is the city manager in Alpharetta. And so he called me and he said, I know you're retiring. He said, you have one more legacy left in you. He says, can you come over here and get our jail started? And so I told him I would give him a few years. Mm-hmm. So I actually starting there working full-time this next Monday, as a matter of fact.
And I've driven the drive that you've been making for years, and I can tell you the drive to Alpharetta is going to be much better.
It is much better.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
Yeah, the drive to Clayton County is through Atlanta both ways, and I've done it for a little over 11 years, and so it's time. I'm tired. The drive has worn me out. I get up at 3:45 in the morning, and I'm leaving the house by 4:15, just because I hate traffic so much. I can miss traffic at least once a day. Mm-hmm. In the afternoon, all bets are off. But again, only 3 days left of that.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about why did you want to serve the public? Because you have certainly given your life to serving the public.
I guess I followed in my father's footsteps. He was a sheriff's deputy, and I always looked up to him for that. And it's kind of been in my bloodline. My great uncle was the first sheriff at Pickens County. Mm-hmm. And we also have other public service servants in my background. Governor Joseph E. Brown was my great uncle. And so service has always been there. And so I decided, I was going to follow in my dad's footsteps. And he was so proud of me for doing that. And he decided to get back into law enforcement. Now, when he was in, it was in the late 50s, early 60s. So he decided he was going to go work for the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. He, at 56, I think, he went through the police academy with all the young 20 and 21-year-olds and graduated the academy. And so, we were proud of him. He retired from Cherokee County in 2000, and then he really didn't like sitting at home, so he decided to be a bailiff with the Cherokee County courts, and he did that up until he finally retired and just before he passed away.
Wow!
So he was my role model, and my sister got involved in it too. She worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office, and she was a Cobb County Reserve deputy. I have a picture that I keep in my office of me, my dad, and my sister. at her graduation from the same academy that I graduated from the same academy that my dad graduated from, except I went 10 years before him.
Wow, that is so crazy. Now let's talk a little bit about the name Nelson, because we are about 4 miles from Nelson, Georgia, and you have a little history there.
Have a little bit of history there. My great-great-grandfather was John Daniel Nelson. He settled the town, and he was one of the biggest landowners there back when land was much, much cheaper. He was also a rifle maker, and he made a lot of people call a famous Nelson rifle. The Annals of North Georgia book describes it as so accurate it can shoot the ear off a squirrel in the highest tree.
Wow.
But John Daniel Nelson settled Nelson. He had huge family, and my great-grandfather was Stephen Tate Nelson, and he lived on what used to be called Pull Tight Road, halfway up. And of course, all my family worked in marble industry, and he had 7 children. One of them was my grandfather, John Frank Nelson, and John Frank Nelson married Lois Wheeler, and they lived in Ball Ground, and they had one son, my dad, who was born in a house that used to sit at Flat Bottom Trail on 372, James Henry Wheeler's house. So my family's been around here for generations, many generations.
And you keep coming back to, you have a work history. It's very obvious. You are not ready to retire, but along with being a warden and driving all the way south of Atlanta, you've been on the city council for 4 years.
I have been.
Now, Ball Ground has changed in 4 years.
It sure has. It sure has.
No more rocks, one building with rocks in it. One building.
We've
Progress.
I've been real fortunate to serve on the city council after being elected by the citizens here, which is an honor in itself. And we've made what I feel are some positive changes here in Ball Ground, and I look forward to the time I've spent there, and who knows, maybe it'll continue.
That's right. That's right. Well, when you look back at I'm thinking you worked in Gwinnett County. It used to be a very nice, quiet community. Gwinnett County's not that way anymore.
No. Gwinnett County was, at the time, the fastest growing county, I think, in the country. And this would have been 1997.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things I've heard you talk about at council meeting is planned growth, because we saw Gwinnett County explode. I don't think they had much planning going on there.
They didn't have a lot of planning, but until later.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a visionary chief executive officer, and she ended up actually is responsible for the infrastructure, the water system that Gwinnett County put in,
Wow.
which has sustained their rapid growth.
So you know how important that
It's
is.
very important. And when I was with the sheriff's office, one of my jobs was to start the school safety education program. And at the time in 1997, there were 54 elementary schools. It was the largest school district in the state of Georgia.
Wow. Can you imagine managing that many school buses?
No, I couldn't.
Oh, no, not a job we would want to
It's
do.
got to be crazy.
No. Now, your future, you're going to be there for about 3 years in Alpharetta, is that right?
I told them I would give them 3 years, so we'll see how it goes. So far, it's going well. I've been working there kind of on a part-time basis. We're just starting to bring staff on board. We've got the jail cleaned and painted and ready to go. We just brought on our first 6 employees. We have no inmates in there yet, so we're still kind of in the training mode right now. When we top out, we'll have 24 at the jail.
Okay, Dennis, we're back. Let's talk a little bit about growth, because you've just given us a background check on yourself. You have been everywhere, and it seems like everywhere you went grew and grew and grew. What do you think about the growth happening in Ball Ground, and what are you interested in doing to help Ball Ground grow?
Well, what I find talking with the citizens here in Ball Ground is everybody wants to be here in Ball Ground, but they don't want anybody else to come here because they don't want it to get larger. And, with controlling that growth, you can let some people move into the city. The city is going to grow. There's not much we can do about that other than control it. But there are things that make Ball Ground just a quaint town. And there are things that I would like to see that can help improve that and make that relationship even better. Ball Ground's got a fantastic fireworks show, second to none in my opinion. Free concerts, the Toys for Tots parade, and the town is set up so that it's walkable, and the biggest problem is finding parking spaces. So one thing I've always wanted to do here, and it was like that when we first moved here, was get a golf cart to drive to town. Unfortunately, there is an ordinance against that, and it's probably more for safety reasons. We see kids all the time operating golf carts. And a lot of it is also because of downtown Gilmer Ferry Road is a state highway, and the state designates only one way to cross, and that's at the four-way stop at Old Canton. But once that becomes a city street, the city can change that completely. And we won't see that become a city street until the bypass is built. But I like the golf cart environment. I think it's good. Your family gets to get together. They get to come over. They take up a small footprint of a parking space, and they're close to home where they can travel back and forth safely. So I'm all for that. We don't own a golf cart yet, but have always wanted to do that, and I see this community as being that way.
I think it would be interesting because we could even have golf cart parades. We could even dress them up for the Christmas parade, because our Christmas parade is second to none.
It is.
It is so amazing.
And I know that Dawn's dad, before he passed away, lived in Florida, and he lived in a small neighborhood, and they would have golf cart parades. Mm-hmm. And they would decorate the golf carts, and I don't even think it was a particular reason or time of the year. It was just something that they did as a neighborhood and as a community.
Mm-hmm. Community fun.
And it was great. Everybody having fun and having a parade, and they would judge the carts, and you can just do so much with them.
Mm-hmm. And it's like everything else. You have to be cautious with anything, whether it's bicycles or skateboarding or whatever the kids are doing, whatever the adults are doing. Just use caution and use your common sense,
That's exactly right. You have to use common sense. And if it's not legal for kids to operate golf carts on the street, and depending on the age, I agree with that. Then the adults need to do it and let the kids ride along. Just make sure that you get a golf cart that's current, has seat belts, and is as safe as possible. I'm not saying you need to wear a helmet in there, but they do come with seat belts now, and you don't have them hanging off of the edge and possibly getting into a situation where they can get hurt or seriously injured. So I think it's a good community thing.
I think it'd be great. Well, we talk about growth, and we grew. I think we grew a well-balanced. We've got every price range house you can imagine. First-time homeowners can live here. Retirees can live here. People who want to build the larger homes can live here. There's such a variety that is all walking distance to downtown. That was very well planned by our previous mayor, because the mayor wanted us to be a walking community. We've done that now. What do you see in the future as far as growing with walkability?
He's done a wonderful job with connecting the neighborhoods to downtown. I think it's great. The Mountain Brook extension, the sidewalks that go out to Mountain Brook, is a big plus, because that's going to bring a lot of people a means to walk into town rather than having to fight for a parking space. We're still a little ways from getting that total connectability. You've got outlying neighborhoods like Sage Hill and Lantern Walk. So it's in progress. It's something that we're going to have to work with the state on because those involve state highways, and they have to approve any kind of sidewalks, but more importantly, they have to approve any kind of crossing. And to get from Lantern Walk over to this side, you have to cross that main highway, Ball Ground Highway, and that can be dangerous. So the state has been resistant to put any kind of a crosswalk there, but at some point in time, I think it's going to happen.
What do you think about slowing down traffic? Because people really go too fast in downtown Ball Ground. Do we address that ever? Because I told the guys I was teasing one of the police officers, I said, give me a gun and I'll shoot out tires sitting from my desk. Because people do go way too fast in downtown Ball Ground.
They do, except when there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. So when it's light out and or the nighttime, yes, I see it all the time. People come through here, they're doing 40, 45 miles an hour, and that's just not safe because too many people cross the street here. Now they've got very, very well marked crossings and they're lighted crossings, but still, sometimes cars just don't stop. I don't know why they don't want to stop. Maybe they're not paying attention. Maybe they just don't care. But the police department, we're so proud that we're going to be able to have a 24/7 police department, and that will hopefully help keep some of the speeders that come through downtown at night away. It's been has been a goal of mine since I got elected to city council, as well as some of the other council members. And we finally have got to a point where it's within our reach. And in 2026, we'll have our final 2 officers that will take us to 24/7. It's all going to make the town safer.
It makes sense. We're going to take a break for just a minute, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the next 4 years in Ball Ground. Okay, we're back. We're visiting with, because I had this great idea. I'd like for you to get to know people. And there's so many people who have been on our program who are now gone, including my dear friend David Ralston, and loved him, loved the idea that he put himself out there in the political arena early on, and he stayed until his death. Now, Dennis, you are retiring, but you're not retiring. You're on the council, but you're ready to do something else. Let's talk a little bit about that.
I am. I have enjoyed my time on the council, and the opportunity has come up where Mayor Roberts has decided to step down after several decades of being mayor in the town. So this I saw as a good opportunity to announce that I was going to run for mayor. We're both on the same cycle where our terms were ending, and so the timing was right. And so I discussed it at great length with my family, with my wife, of course, our boys, to see if this is something I really wanted to do. And I feel like I can make some good positive changes here. I bring conservative values to the mayor's seat. One of the things that I really like about Ball Ground is the way we've grown, and we can thank our industries that are already here. United Alloy brings a lot of workers to the community. Onyx brings a lot of workers to the community. These are people that love to live and work at the same place. I see a lot of the future of Ball Ground out on Ball Ground Highway. I want to see more commercial and retail type businesses out there. Because downtown, we can tweak it a little bit here and there and bring some businesses in, but the wide open, unpioneered area is Ball Ground Highway, and we can get some more retail shopping areas and beautify that road. Because right now it just looks so run down, and Ball Ground deserves a lot better. It needs to be a very, very great, attractive looking place. It needs to be vibrant and still keep our historic downtown area the way it is.
I think that's very important. And when I look at people who come through here, most of the people who come through here may have started in Copper Hill, Tennessee, and they're driving all the way to Alpharetta for work. So many of the cars and trucks that travel through here are not stopping here. They're not spending money here. They're just using us as a thoroughfare. And if we had places for them to shop, we could also get the tax revenue from that.
That's correct. And, I believe that we could do that. We certainly have an open canvas on Ball Ground Highway. Mm-hmm. We can beautify that road. We can bring in businesses and bring in visionaries. I would like to see the city move towards eventually creating an economic development person, somebody who can professionally bring in and attract businesses to Ball Ground. And when we start bringing businesses and increasing our commercial areas, that offsets the tax burden to the residents that live here, the homeowner. Mm-hmm. The homeowners right now are burdened by taxes that can be shared by bringing in these bigger companies. And sales tax, we can do so much more. We can beautify the streets by putting street lights up and sidewalks and cart trails and anything that we want the town to become. Mm-hmm.
But it takes money, and to get the money, you don't want to burden the tax on the homeowners, because I hear that all the time. They're like, we can't bear anymore.
I do. I hear that too. This year, of course, we had a slight tax increase, but that was to push us to get that 24/7 police, which I feel is so important. In the middle of the night when we don't have police officers working, it could be 20 minutes before a sheriff's deputy gets here. Mm-hmm. And when you're in need of police help, precious seconds mean everything. Mm-hmm. So by having our own police department, we should be able to cut that response down to below 2 minutes. And, that's important to make the citizens feel safer. When they're asleep, they need to know that the roads are being patrolled by the police. Mm-hmm. And, part of the things that I hear about the taxes is that their taxes are just tremendously increased. Well, some of them don't realize that there's a fire district tax that is also included in the city tax. That's a pass-through tax. It has to be collected by the city, but it goes right to Cherokee County, and we have no control over that. So when you take that out of the total Ball Ground tax, the rest is how much you're actually paying for your water and sewer infrastructure, your police protection, your trash pickup, the downtown area, cutting the grass and manicuring some of the park areas. Those are all done by city services, and we've got to have them. We've got to have them because people want that quality of life here. They want it to be a nice place.
And we do have the best city services. I mean, it is amazing. The parade happens, there's trash everywhere, and in a matter of hours, they have the streets cleaned up and ready to open the next day for business.
And I have been out on the side of the road and seen some of our guys down in a hole trying to fix a water leak. It doesn't matter if it's 30 degrees outside or 90 degrees outside. They come out. They don't fuss. They put their boots on, they climb in there, get in the stuff that none of us would step into, and they fix the problem, and they're there. And it's not just them. The police officers work hard. The crews that clean up the parks and empty the trash cans in the park. Everybody works very, very hard. It makes Ball Ground look like everything's running smooth, like a duck going across the pond, but those legs underneath the water are just going like crazy. And that's the part that we don't see, and we don't take the time to recognize our city employees for that.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want you to recap. Go back to a young officer and come back to what your vision is for tomorrow. Okay, Dennis, it's time to do your last patrol, your own patrol. And you've been an officer for years and years and years. Let's recap a little bit, and let's talk about, as you face retirement, you're not really ready to retire. You're ready to be mayor, aren't you?
I am. I go back 45 years in law enforcement. got a few more years. Maybe I'll hit 50 years in law enforcement. I don't know. But one thing, I've learned the value of public service. I've learned that it's good to help people. I've seen people in their worst time of their life, and I've seen people that are very, very happy. You run every kind of emotion. You work traffic fatalities, and you have to see that devastation and then go leave that scene and go give a death notification to a family member and deal with that. But one thing, I've been very fortunate with having worked so many different places, with some good managers and some not so good managers, is I liken it to my toolbox, and I pick up the good tools and I put them in my box that I learned from good people and good leaders, and I don't put the bad tools in them. So I try to make sure that I'm prepared for making sure that I'm doing the right thing at the right time and the right job. So I've been, again, seen a lot of growth and in my job and my personal satisfaction, from what I get with my job. I'm so very fortunate that I've had great family support while I've done everything I've wanted to do. I have worked my way up from patrol all the way up to being elected president of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police. And very, very proud of that honor, that where I was elected by all the police officers or police chiefs in the state of Georgia. And then, of course, I'm very honored that I was elected to fill the city council slot here in Ball Ground. And now I feel that with my experience, with what I've learned budgeting, I've learned people skills, I've learned fiscal responsibility. I've learned about ordinances and laws, and running a government is not like running a business. And you're accountable to the taxpayers, and you're accountable to the people. You're not accountable to a board of directors or shareholders. So I feel that this job has prepared me for my final elected position as mayor. I have no desire to go any higher than mayor. I do not care for any kind of seat above that. I'm happy in Ball Ground, and I'm happy doing what I feel is the best for the city and for the citizens here. And I really, really look forward to the opportunity to do that and help make Ball Ground even better than it is now, and make it a town that people will talk about for many, many years. It's very, very different from when my dad grew up here and my grandfather grew up here, and my relatives, and they played baseball on the baseball field. That's about the only thing that's common here that hasn't changed much. And everything else has changed around us, and except some of these old buildings. We just want to make sure that the town continues to provide the same level of comfort that has given us all these years to the future generations to come.
I think I love the term that my friend Vicki came up with years ago. I wanted her to run for city council, and she said, "No, I don't want to do that." And I said, "Well, if you did, what would your slogan be?" She said, "Preserving the past and embracing the future." I think you see that. I think that's a vision for you too, to see us to truly remember what was and continue with what can be.
This council came up with, and actually one council member in particular came up with, historic past, bright future, Ball Ground, and that says it all. Mm-hmm. It really does. We embrace our history. People come to Ball Ground. We want it to continue to be a destination. We want it to be a better destination, and we do have a bright future. Mm-hmm. And it's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise your family. We're real fortunate. One of our sons lives in town in Ball Ground, and the other one lives not too far away from here. So this makes it a good location for us that we're central between the two. And our grandchildren are being raised here. We're happy.
It is a great place to call home.
It is.